this is a poignant, little film. And it was created for a project for Alzheimer's awareness. So, I mean, it's definitely, that's, of course, the running point there. But I think it also does some really interesting things. One is that continual soundtrack, right? That piano music, that score that just kind of goes over and over, and that they speed up and slow down at times, that really kind of drives it. But then one of the other things I love is the framing, how we get these real life, right? So this is just kind of the whole of life thing, but then we also get that framing of the webcam where she's like making the YouTube video. Have you ever watched many like YouTube videos that where you look at like people's houses in the background, like you see their room or whatever? Anybody notice that stuff? It's definitely a sense of voyeurism in that way, of kind of like, oh, yeah, that's where you live. I would have put that away, right? Or I would have cleaned that up, or oh, that looks nice. But definitely the sense of, what YouTube gives to us is this sense of being able to see into people's lives. And when we get these shots where she's in front of the webcam, I mean, it's giving us this different view. And of course, what we see is not just her doing this video, but we see how her life is, having that crossover between those things. And what we see is those things we don't usually get to see a lot unless you are part of the family in that way, or part of the caregivers. And so it becomes very poignant. And here, this point is amazing in terms of sound. Let me just go back just a tad here. Well, maybe a tad more. Yeah. This moment where we hear the car door ajar, the sound of it, where just like putting her backpack in. I mean, they pull the non-diegetic music back. And of course, framing it, filming it from down where we're looking at her, and we see her and really realize like how small she is in that big car and turning the engine over. All of those things give weight to that. And of course, this weight that Lisa's carrying. And I mean, I know it's been so long. I've seen this so many times, and after you see it so many times, you can't get that first time back. But I remember watching it and thinking, God, she's just a little brat, and it carries us through that for kind of part of it. And then once we really realize what's happening, it changes our view too. But I love kind of the way it also gives us those different views depending on where she is. Is this kind of just her life where we're not seeing it on the screen versus the webcam where we're getting what she wants to do, but those kind of differences. And of course, this, play with colors when we're in the house, when she's doing, filming her video, we're just getting those kinds of things. And then, I mean, we get the house, we get that real consistent color in those ways. Interaction here, that's sweet. And then this, it's funny because for a long time I thought, oh, this is kind of overacted, like right here where she goes, and then I was like, oh no, kids are like that, right? But this moment, this is, of course, that tragic moment. And we get a lot more silence in this moment in terms of that music. We get just a few notes here and there.
Let's go inside. You're not coming inside. Let's just go inside and rest. Don't come any closer. It's okay. Who are you? What's your name? My name is Lisa.
And even there, I mean, it sticks with a lot of silence. So it's definitely one of the things that this plays on kind of sound, both in terms of talking, but also in terms of that. So it's a sad ending, but it's also a happy ending, as much as it can be. Thoughts? Anything that you noticed that stood out for you?